Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with the What's on the Bench. Little tech trick, pro tip, whatever you want to call it. We got a little mail call. Give me just a second here. It's hot down here today. Gas monkey. We got a couple things to go over. Of course, the update on 32. We're about 70%ish complete, which is a good thing because we got other things to move on to. But I'm not rushing it either. I kind of rushed a few things yesterday. It's not that I regret it. It's just got ahead of myself and created more work for myself. So no big deal. But the charger is ready to get wrapped up and put away. It's gassed out now, so I'll feel safe about wrapping it up in plastic and putting it up. And we will get it back out here really soon so we can get it finished. But let's do the mail call real quick. So, I announced I needed a gas cap, and that was another reason I didn't want to pack it up just yet until I had all the parts. And Marcy jumped on it first. And I still want to thank everybody that offered. I appreciate it, but Marcy already had it and it was basically already in the mail, so maybe you can help me another day for something else. But we did get our gas cap, neatly attached it, left it on the sprue, which is okay. And always a nice little note. And she sent me you guys know who he is? I hope everybody knows who he is. Little Rat Fink. So I appreciate the sticker, Marcy, and the part. So now we got the gas caps, and I think I'm pretty much set on everything I need for that build. I don't think there's anything else I need. And if it is, I'll just go buy it because it would come down to a paint or something like that. But we'll look at it for a second. Let's get it out of the way. It is all clear coated. The clear didn't land near as nice as it did on 32, and it was the same batch, so I must have had something on here that I didn't get off or whatever. Got little fuzzies here and there, nothing major, but you can kind of see the hood. You can see how shiny it is, and you can kind of see a few of the little specks. I mean, some of it could be I just took it out of the dehydrator, but it's got 4 coats of clear on it, so it is a little kind of heavy for 2K anyways. But it's all wet sandable. I wanted to show you it this way first. So you can see we got the engine compartment all cleared too as well. Nice and shiny. Fits the part. Now there's some detail painting we got to get in here and paint the radiator and some other things. And then the firewall will be yellow also and clear coated when we're all done. We got a little dirt in the roof. Not horrible, just a few little spots. And one little spot on the trunk. But we did get orange peel. But it's easy enough that we can go through here and, clean it up. It just didn't level the way it should have. Like I said, it was the exact same batch of clear. I didn't change anything. Nothing else. I should have probably added some more leveling thinner as I was painting this one, but I was going back and forth between the two. Still, no big deal. Adds a little work, but on this one, I want it to be as right as possible to hopefully bring it to a show one day and make it presentable. For all the work I put into that stupid thing, But it looks good. I mean, nice and shiny. The shiny the way I want it. It did bring that yellow out really nice. It is school bus yellow, but it doesn't look like it on here. Kind of changed the appearance of it, and it will depending on what kind of primer you use. For yellows and stuff like that, you should always use a white primer, like a sky gray, anything like that. A light white, whatever primer to keep that color neutral like it is. You start adding dark primers, it's going to darken the shade of the outcome, and then you won't be happy if that's not what you were looking for. So yeah, she's ready to get wrapped up and put away for now. Not for long though. We do have a few little quick spurt videos on the aqua rod. Not enough to put a video together yet. Sorry guys. But we will. Here soon. Alright, Jay's update on that. I got the other side cut off. I'll take a look at it real quick. So I don't have to keep going back and forth. So if you remember, I got to put a video together for all this because, like I said, I do want to keep it separate. But it's what's taking some of my time this week. We did cut off the control arm bracket. Piece of the frame, I should say. Like that piece right there. You see it? We did this side the same way. Remember, we cut it off. We cut the frame out. Took out that material. We added material back to here where it needed to be. Back here, filled in the gaps. We filled in all the gaps up here around the frame. We still got some puttying to do to get it. I want the frame to look factory again. No gaps or cracks and anything like that. So we got our other side cut off. There's the control arm bracket. And here's our frame rail. So you can see, I got to remove all this material on this line right here, this pink line, in and down. Believe it or not, this is actually purple, not pink. You guys will say something about it. And get rid of that material, then that will go back in. When I do put it back in, will be tight like this again, but I need to take out material up here to allow this notch right here. So this will come over. So I want to try to not do what I did on this side, is end up with a big gap. Get it as close as possible, and then only cut out what I need. And then I'm going to keep that piece regardless, so I can use it as a filler if I do. The other time I threw the piece away and couldn't find it. And then we'll get this all filled back in up here and get that control arm bracket put back on, and that should tidy up the frame. Other than a bar that we will have to, well, it's right here already for the lower, the upper control arms, or the upper 4-link bars. I'll make attachment points right down in here, and these are the lower arms for the 4-link. They'll go into this position, but we changed the angle of them. That was the main thing about moving everything in, is changing the angle to what I needed. We did move our motor mounts up. We've got everything notched out, so our suspension, since it's a 3D printed part, we don't want to modify it. The height is just the way we need it. But if you would have put it to the outside of the frame rail, it notches over and around. It put the tire out here. So we didn't want that. So we measured that distance. That's what you see us notched out right here. So now it'll recess in here, still wrap around the frame. We'll saw the ends off so it's flush with the face of the frame here. We'll fill that in with CA glue or something, or 5-minute epoxy. Let that cure up really hard, because we don't want this warping or, anything like that. And it's not right now. It's not broken. We don't want that. So, but that puts our tires and wheels back in here inside the wheel wells. So that was a necessity to do. Now we're at the point where we need to decide. Let me set this out of the way. Decide if I didn't want to have to, but we're going to have to, is remove the inner fender wells. And it's going to play more of the part, because you can see here's the roll bar I've been tinkering with, getting it to fit in here. And it lines up really good. Right now everything's off because it's not glued in place or anything. But if you look at it and get it up out of the thing, no, it won't. There we go. You can see in the front, they come down, they sit basically right. Like I said, everything's wonky right now, but kind of like that's how it sits. So that looks really good. We do need to adjust the roll bar in the back some more, because we're keeping the entire shell. I still have to talk to Jay about if he wants to opt the back seat out, or I'll take that bar out there and move that bar forward like right up behind the driver's seats, which it really needs to be anyways. And that'll let this roll bar, it fits perfect. If you guys can see up there on the roof, see it? Fits great up there. And I got a thing full of switches to put up, you know, all over the place. So I think that's what we're going to do. So give you, like I said, I've just been tinkering with it. I'm not set. We do have some switches already on here, so we don't have to worry about adding that detail. I may add a panel of my own switches right up underneath it. But this bar right here needs to be cut out and moved forward to about right here. That will, and then these need to be removed and angled up more and go into the rear dash or the package tray to make it right. So that's where we're at. And you can see I've kind of been snipping things and, you know, just playing with it. I just got to get the measurements right first. But we're getting, what the hell is that? We're getting really close to where, you know, we're going to go in primer on that. And that's faster than I thought. So, well, here's the engine. We're going with the 572 twin turbo. We want all this to stay underneath the hood. So, you know, this will be plumbed and wired. All the detail there. The trick now is instead of this being on the inside of the radiator, we want it to the outside of the radiator. So we're going to have to build tubes that come down from here and go up underneath the core support and come back up tight to the face of the radiator. This will mount to those opposite way. This will be the bottom, and this will be the top right here when it's up inside there. And then from here we'll have to come back down and around and back up into the same position they're in right now, so that the headers and the turbos align back to those points. So got some planning to do, which, you know, it's all part of modeling. It's no big deal. You just play with it and you try something. If it doesn't work, you keep trying until you get what works. So that's kind of everything else that's been going on. Jenny did get hers painted. I did help a little bit. You know, she's just getting the hang of everything. She did a really good job. And she will do a video here on this channel when she's has more time, and of course she's got to get her stuff fixed up and explain everything she did to it. And you know, I did help a little bit. I'm just trying to stay out of it as much as possible. But there's some areas of things that she wanted to do she's never done. There's no way she's going to be able to do it. I had to help her. And I did find a little boo-boo in the paint down here, so I wet sanded that real quick for her. We'll have to respray this fender, which is no big deal. It's not clear-coated or anything yet. So we'll put a couple little layers on this, light coats, and then we'll lay a heavy coat over the whole thing to make it blend in. But I had to have her get it this storm because I'm doing the bed. She helped some on cutting out the pieces, but now it's time to get the photo etch on it and get it, you know, glued down and get a coat of clear on it. We're going to be using, I think, a matte varnish, either matte or satin, one of the two, I can't remember. And then this will have to get clear coated so then I can get the bed installed, because it goes both sides. So it looks like you're looking at the bed underneath, real bed. And then she's got to get all the rest of the parts painted, and then it'll have to go into clear. I'm sure there'll be some polishing and hoo-hoo and ha-ha, and hopefully it's, you know, comes out good. But it looks really good right now. She did a really good job on it, so proud of her for that. Like I said, I did help her with it, so now I guess what y'all have been waiting for. Where's he at in the 32? We're going to take a look at it this way, then I'll turn the camera around. I can see I got my brake line ran, the rubber hose up to the block, and then from the block it'll have a hard line that'll come up, and it'll get up and it'll get pigtailed and go into the master cylinder, and then out of the master cylinder it'll get pigtailed and come down and go to this block right here. See that block? And it'll go from that block over to the other side, to this block, and up to, you know, the braided lines from there up to the wheels, the calipers. You can see I got one caliper. I'm just kind of dry fitting it and make sure everything lines up the way it should be. And the brake lines will come up into there, so you know that'll be visible. Brake line coming up to that. We got our front shocks painted. Hope everybody can see that. Yeah, this got clear coated too. You can kind of see the colors shift around here a little bit. Just depends on the way the light's hitting it and angling it. Down here it looks more greenish. It's really cool, guys. The color is very unique and pretty. And we got a nice shine on everything. You know, the frame I didn't want too glossy, but I think this has got 2 coats. For the body, got 4 coats. So, you know, keeping the level of gloss down kind of as we go, because even though this is the high candy, same way with the engine, we didn't want to draw the attention away from the body and the frame be too glossy and the body not glossy enough. But yeah, we got our steering column in, shaft, gearbox. We got our headlights in. Everything is not focusing. There we go. Headlights are in. We got our steering and our radius rods in. Steering rod in, connected to the gearbox. Now this box over here, this is the fuel block. You can see on the inside of the frame, see the steel line? That is the fuel line. It goes all the way back. Get up underneath here. All the way down this side. You can see it there to this block. Not to this block, I'm sorry. We're on the wrong side of the car. There it is. You can see it right in there. Goes all the way down, comes back through the frame back here and up and over and into the gas tank. That's how she gets her fuel. The moon tank in the front is just a secondary fuel source. It's not something you switch. You got to get out and manually turn, you know, reconnect that hose from that to that. So like if you're just running alcohol or whatever, and you want to do a race, you can just get out and switch the hose at the fuel filter location and run alcohol or back to the main fuel line. That's what we're going with. Because I do want that. I want that moon tank in the front. We are using real aluminum rod to go from here to here. In the same way from here to here. I thought about making my drive shaft out of aluminum. I was like, nah. I've done too much on this one as it is. The kit drive shaft looks flipping amazing. I airbrushed aluminum, put a little black wash in there, and it looks perfect. I don't need to mess with it. So we got that done. Fan shroud is done. Electric fan. The wires ready. Like I said, you guys have seen the engine a million times. We'll show it again. For all of you that haven't seen it, the insane amount of detail that's on it. I do have to touch up the oil pan right there where I nicked it. Nothing makes you madder. You know, it's totally my fault, so no big deal. I still am having the issue of clearance from the front of the pulleys to this. It touches. Now, in the scheme of things, it's a model car. It's not really going to run, so you know your belts aren't going to really rub into the metal and cause a big mess. At the end of the day, it would be okay. This doesn't allow it, so I'm still monkeying around with a couple different ideas. My nose is super itchy today, guys. Allergies. Monkeying around with how can I get just a gap, just enough to see a little gap of daylight between it. And I've really not come up with anything because it's like, oh, here's my radiator. It's all been black washed. It turned out really nice. At that angle you can see. So that's 2 coats. And I still have today to come back and use a Q-tip and shine the chrome back up. We've got our Ford emblem on up here at the top. And, and this goes in place, and this actually it stays on its own pretty good. It's a pretty good kind of like a friction fit. I say that and see it won't stay. Let me put it down here. I'm trying not to make this video too long. You guys get the gist of it anyways. You know how these all look. So, here's my dilemma. So I was always thinking the engine's going to stick too high for the hood to work. When I was painting everything, I was like, I better paint that hood just in case, or at least I can set it next to the build. Look the part. I'm never going to use it, but whatever. Turns out the engine sits down below it. Just like it would if I used the kit intake or the blower. In this case, we got a tunnel ram and 2/4, and it stays below the hood, which is fantastic. So glad I painted it. I got to wet sand this one and polish it out. The Rebel seat, we got the word Hot Rod on there. You guys can make that out or not. Get an angle there. You guys can see that color shifting, fading, fading from one end to the other into the other color. I did not get the bottom of this sprayed with clear for no reason, so I'll wet sand this whole thing down, and we'll come back in and we'll put another 1 or 2 coats of clear over it. That'll take care of this down here. And technically it'd be down the side of the car more than it is closed, but since the latch does function, when you get it in the lock position, you're not going to be able to open this, well, without breaking it, until you turn the handle sideways and release the latch, and then this will open and slide down in there. So for that purposes, I'm going to go ahead and go back and wet sand this down and then re-clear coat to get that smooth. No big deal. So those 2 things will need to be polished out after the fact. We did get one spot in the body. You can see maybe right there where that little halo is, kind of where it's distorted. Yeah, the airbrush I showed you, it spit a little bit, and that's just the way it is. So that just needs polished out, that little spot. And then I got a little scratch from trying to put this windshield on. So I got to wet sand that out, and then we'll polish just those 2 little areas. Then I'll be doing it by finger because it won't be a big area. Our biggest dilemma, you can see the windshield frame sits on there perfect. No problems, no gaps. It is a little dirty. I do need to clean up the glass from where I installed it. My biggest problem is I cracked the frame. Right there. I'm not buying another kit just to get a window frame. I can't bring myself to do it. Not this far into the game. So I'm going to lightly sand this down because I filled it in with CA. And I should have pinned it, but it's just so fiddly. And the more I was messing with it, I was getting mad. I would have broke everything. I'm going to sand it down just enough, not a whole lot. Because I like the kit chrome on this windshield frame. Whatever reason. So, we get up closer, you can see. It's not extreme or horrible, and there is 2 points of contact I need to re-chrome up here anyways. So once I sand it down a little bit and get it smooth, or smooth enough, I'm going to put a little dab of CA glue in it again. I'll use one of those little needle applicators. I just want to fill in the gap all the way around, and then once it's all sanded down, I will be using Molotow and touch it up all the way around. And hopefully it's not that noticeable. I mean, to me, it ruined the whole damn thing. It's just aggravation, but it is what it is. It still looks good. And if I can get it there, I'll be happy with it. So that's all that matters. Now, fitting it back in here is, I drilled at an angle on purpose so to bind the pin, if you remember me telling you. Yeah. Once I put this in, it's going to have to stay in. I'm not going to put it back in because I already got one little scratch. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't really see it there. But that's how light it is. It's just barely doing it. But I want you guys to look at that. Look at that light shift that color. See how it's like teal right there on the front of the cowl? And then you roll it down around. And then you get the blues. Depends on the angle. It fades from one to the other. It doesn't really shift because it's not multi. It's just those two shades of colors. Well, and the Nassau blue is coming through. So you get a little more blue hues than you do the Miami Beach, but it's in there, definitely in there, and it is absolutely stunning. And the clear coat laid really nice to where, like my flat area right here, I'll wet sand that a little bit and polish it out. The sides, I'll wet sand that out and polish that back out. I want to stay off my edges, but it laid really nice where I don't have to do a very minimal effort. We did when, but you can see we got our brake line ran up to the thing now. I just need to run from the master cylinder down to this block, which is not hard at all. We got our fuel line ran all the way up, and then you are in. Whoa, nothing broke, please tell me. Okay. The fuel line runs down off the side of the alternator right here, and it goes right down into that block. I did that is because the engine wants to sit a little wonky. The motor mounts are just a hair off, and that's mold. That is not me doing anything because I didn't modify these. But you can literally look at it close up and see they are a hair off. So it takes the engine and wants to go like this, a hair. That fuel line down there, that's a hard line. That's a strong piece of wire. It actually pulls the engine a little back straight and holds it. So once I glue everything in, it'll be boom, good. But we did get everything. At that point, we got our ladder bars in. We got our 3D printed coilovers in. They look nice. But like I said, I'm going to flip this phone around so you guys get a better look. Headlights are in. Front shocks are pan. Today the lighting's not that good, so let's do it. Let's turn it around. We'll get a better look of everything. So you can see the coilovers down to the scratch-made bracket. Fuel line is in right there. Goes all the way down through the frame rail and up and up. You can see my rear brake lines are already through back here. Just waiting to put the calipers on. I'll have to cut those wires to length and put them into the calipers. I don't know if we can see the block at this angle or not. No, probably from the front. Yep, a little bit. You can see the rubber line that comes out, comes up to the block on the side of the frame. From here, it'll be a hard line all the way up to the front. Traction bars, we went with the, just to keep the colors the same. The dark aluminum, dark steel, one of the two for the hog head. I liked it better. I tried aluminum first, and then I tried the red, and all this, I didn't like it, so inevitably I painted it black, and then went over it with the dark steel, or what is this? Magnesium, I'm sorry. The Vallejo metallizers, magnesium. And then we got our exhaust in up to, where it goes into the side of the headers. Adjusted our tailpipes a little bit. You can even see the color shifting there on the bottom of it. That teal keeps poking its head in. That's why I like the coil springs being that teal color. Everything marries together really nice. And, this is clean. I mean, I'm not scared to get you guys up here. Close up. Points of contact are super clean. No holes are drilled too big where you see gap around a wire or tube going into it. This is all kit based where the exhaust goes through there, so there may be a little gap in that, but that's not my doing. And then we got our suspension on up front. That rotor is just dry fitted on there right now. Trying to make sure everything lines up where I need it to be, and so on and so forth. So with the right mirror, put it back down here. The right mirror, it'll look good, and the right lighting on it is really going to pop. So I'll show you this on the interior. When we get down here, you can see. There we go. You see those little screw heads? Those are all photo etch. The kit has the detail there. Right now it's all the interior color, but I added those and then I coated them with the Vallejo varnish, same varnish I used on the seats. That locks those photo etch in really good. And even that panel down there has got the photo etch. We've got our feet in, black wash those. That's about 4 coats of black wash, and then took a Q-tip and swiped across the top to get those silver raised areas in the center back. There we go. Lighting in here is absolutely horrible today. I should have turned all the lights on, it would have been better. But you get the gist of it. Even the dashboard has 3 screw heads. You can kind of see them right there. Holding that bezel plate on. So, you know, there's all kinds of little attention to detail in the interior, like I said we were going to do. I still got to do the hard parts back here. It'll get, you know, just across the top and down the side. Because this piece actually is part of this piece right there. So we'll just do what's in the side of your visual. We can't get down behind the seat. That's where I got ahead of myself. Not a big deal. I mean, this actually comes out still. It's not glued in, but I got it in place, and I don't want to fool with it. Right now, look how blue that looks. So you can see what I'm talking about. Get ready for it to change. There it goes. Just fades. It's like a natural fade. It's not color shifting because it's just, well, I mean, I think there is 2 shade color shifting, but it's not color shift paint. And look at the shine. Just beautiful. See the reflection of everything in it. So that's what we do. We got to finish up this side and across the back, and we're done with the interior. That would be the last thing. I was thinking about my little lady here. You know, she's got blue dress on and yellow. You know, the colors kind of go inside. And she does sit down in there very nicely. Back up against the seat tight. But the problem is, I don't know what scale this car is. (1/25). She is 1/24. And with my printer being down, I can't go in and, you know, I've already got her, I printed this one. Scale it down to fit in here. So she's a little too big for the car as far as the look goes. Like I said, in the back here, you look in there and see carpet, you know, the rest of it's all painted. We didn't change anything. I added that back plate in here. I cut out the pieces for inside here to go over the wheel wells, because my determination was I was going to have to make panels, and it wasn't thick enough, so I'd put a little piece on there and then put another piece all the way up to here. Well, I'd already glued those little pieces on, so I just left them. But the floorboard's cut to fit tight. You can see all the way back. There, that seat's ready. We're opting out of seat belts. This car didn't have them. I know on the street you'd probably have to, but this is a show rod. This isn't everyday driver, or you drive it to a car show all the time. Maybe every once in a while, and you just push your luck and take a chance. But I could still add the seat belts, and I may, but I don't know yet. Right now, as I like it nice and clean. Everything looks good. The gauges are very visible when you're looking at it with your own eyes. I don't know if we can get in here and look and see. Let me get this where I can focus. There we go. And we're going to zoom in a little bit. Well, no, because there's glare coming from behind me. But you can see each individual gauge. But you definitely can see the tach, the shift indicator. We even have mgsf ignition switch and ignition installed in the off position. Yeah, so, you know, we're using a combination of all kinds of parts. Like I said, we're make believe, pretend that is a 4-speed shifter and not a automatic shifter. Because I like the look of it. It fits in there. It looks like it's supposed to go with it to me, you know. There's that little scratch. You can see it. So, yeah, we got to do a little wet sanding up here to get that orange peel out. Down or over to the sides to that point. Those are really good. The sides kind of right here are really nice. But the flat areas we got to work on a little bit. It's not horrible. I mean, I'm getting in super close, so it's going to look worse, of course. But the orange peel is very fine. I didn't think it was going to have to, but then the more I looked at it, it's already gassed out. It's not going to level any more than it is, so I got a little spot right there. in front of the door handle, the wet sand, so I'm not going to put the handles on yet. And I said, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well go through here and hit the flat areas, and then we'll polish that right back. Because I only have to use a one-stage polish. And then I'll come back and coat it with wax really good, so this won't get put on the body until it's finalized. Then I'll be wearing gloves. But we are almost there, guys. Yeah, so we're, really close. I got to polish first. Next stage is get the other rotor. I gotta get them drilled out, get them on there, get the brake lines in place up to them. I'm not worried about to here. I can run this brake line from here to there. Kind of, you know what I'm saying, as under point, before I get the engine in and everything. I think I want to have that in place before I put the engine in, because it's going to be down and underneath all that. But we did get our coil in. We got our booster in, because, you know, these bars right here, these are going to be aluminum also. So I had to get everything kind of mocked up. So our MSD box will go over here. We have other wires, like we got our throttle cable that's got to come in through here. We have our starter wire that comes in from here. Of course, would go up to the battery where it is. We have other ignition wires coming off the engine that has to come in through the firewall. So all those holes are in there. I don't know if you can see them. You can see daylight through there. You know. So that's all good. So we're kind of set now where everything's kind of ready to marry together. And I'm ready to marry it together. But we got to be smart. I just want you guys to look at this again, because this isn't the same color. The bell housing and the transmission are two different colors. I don't know if you can tell that from this or not, but they are. In a split second like that, my head clogs like a concrete brick. Anyways, we are basically ready for sub-assemblies. We need to wet sand these two pieces, the body. We need to fix this and then touch it up. Make sure it's kosher. If not, I really don't know what I'm going to do. Hopefully I can get that right. Or close to where you can't really notice. Because this is for Acme. Or just one of. So I hope to get that, close to it. Because that's the kind of the icing on the cake type thing. It's a real bummer. I've had this thing on and off 50 times and never. Just fiddled with trying to get that windshield in there, and bam, it broke. And see, the top of the windshield's already come out. So I'm going to have to put another little dab of glue in there and reclamp it and let it set. And then we'll be good to go. So, all that being said, again, thank you to Marcy for the gas cap. The charger's ready to get wrapped up now and put all the parts in one box, put the lid on it. I don't know where we'll move it to. Excuse me. We may move it over to here for right now. Just so it's in proximity of the table, but yet out of mind. We are moving forward with the van and the boat. Jay's, of course. I did absolutely nothing to the Ghost of Kiev this week. Got down a rabbit hole in this thing. And on Jay's. And helping Ginny. And I did get the charger all clear. So I got quite a bit done. I could have had a lot more done, but just another busy week. And it's, until I get into the first part of summer, it's going to be that way. And it may eventually get down to where it's only one video a week, because I just got so much stuff to do that there's not enough time in the day, it seems like. But, again, any questions? Drop them down in the comment. Past, present, future subscribers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We are. It seems like we're only gaining like 1 or 2 subs a week, but and then it backs off one or two, and then we bounce back. So that's good. Going into the weekends, usually when we pick them up. Remember, guys, check your subscription all the time. I've had problems with bumping out subscribers. It may be because you're not viewing enough to keep your sub active, I guess. I don't know. I've heard of other channels complaining about this. So it's not just us. So that's kind of relieves me a little bit to know that it's how their analytics work. If you don't watch enough of the videos, you're not an active participant in that channel, they will boot your sub. I'm assuming that's how it's doing because that's the only explanation I can come up with. So again, check your subs. Make sure, tell your friends and family that watch me to make sure they're checking their subs. Spread the word as much as you can. You guys, all the subs that I've gotten so far is all greatly in part to you all. And so I thank you for that. As always, my email's down below. Mark at Hobby Nut Models. His link is always down below. Ryan Jones did contact me via email. He'll be sending some stuff. He's just been super busy, tied up. So no worries there. So we'll have some things to look over. Nothing from mgsf yet. There was something else coming. I can't remember. Oh, I will have an order coming in from Mark, but I got to get some other things taken care of first, and I can get that order coming this way. We don't have another unboxing or whatever this month. Probably nothing until next month. And Mark's been super busy too, so no worries. That gives me time to get all this done, or at least some of it done. Because the next one will be the Acme build. Working on this. The 99, I put it on the back burner for a couple weeks. Mainly because I want to focus on this. And that's pretty much it, guys. You guys know as much as I know. Like I said, any questions, leave them down in the comments what you think about the 32. The Charger. Where we're at on Jay's. Like I said, there'll be separate videos for Jay's and the Aqua Rod team and the 99 when we start on it. I still got to get the part for the printer. I've just been so busy, I've not had time to sit down and do it. But that. And the pictures, same way. My wife's studying for 2 more tests. We've got a grand niece on the way. Or great niece, whatever you want to call it. Great niece. We've got another grandchild on the way, so she's doing all this knitting and projects for everything and trying to work, help maintain a household. It's a lot. And to give you an idea, she works 50, 60 hours, sometimes 70 hours a week. Doesn't leave a lot of time. So we're all just kind of juggling and trying to get a little bit of this done, a little bit of this done. And then, like I said, we're going to the summertime. Not preaching to the choir because I know you guys all have the same thing. Houses, yards, whatever your projects are for the summer. So it's going to limit time in here. And I'm not where I wanted to be. Let's put it that way. I plan to be a lot further off, especially in the dioramas and everything else, than I am. But I didn't counter the back going out. Extra things for this and the 2.5, 3 months that I've kind of not been able to do a whole lot because of it. And that set everything back, not just modeling. It set my house duties, Now I'm trying to get caught up on that and get caught up on this at the same time. I just can't do it. But it's the weekend. You guys have a great weekend. I got my little granddaughter coming over tomorrow after we go to a baby shower. So the granddaughters are going to have a day to spend together. And we'll see what we can all get into. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I got some other ideas down the road. I'm going to change up, like I said, the format of this a little bit. In the way we do them. There'll always be the build that I do that you're only going to get bits and pieces of on a weekly basis. It's just because I put so much into them. It's not something I could just do that. Where there's going to be little spots of it, I'll do a build series. and you'll get from point A to point Z every step in between. Because I'm not putting a whole lot into it. We are going to bring some different things to the channel. So you guys stay tuned. And you know what I say. Go build a model this weekend. Go back and watch some of my videos. All those great videos. I hope everybody got a chance to go over and check out Midwest Modeling. That Titanic he's working on. Well, he's working on two of them. One's a commission build. The other one's his personal one. His personal one's got more detail in that one model than I've put in any model I've ever built, as far as overall and the amount of detail. And every other week there's a new thing, and his friend over in Europe that makes photo etch keeps sending him all these sheets of detail that's all got to be put into there. So now it's like he's got hours and hours of work to do to it, but he's trying to get the commission build done first, which is priority I get. But if you haven't checked him out, get over there and check him out. I'm almost done with or up to date anyways, on that build. And I got to catch up on some other ones, and I want to go back and watch some of his older videos on some of the battleships he's built. I just find it very kind of entertaining, because I couldn't. I mean, you guys see me fool with this tiny little stuff, and on here. Yeah, it's one tiny little photo, but I'm putting one little photo etch piece, boom, and then maybe another one. He's hundreds of pieces of photo etch. I may have 3 or 4 on a build. He's putting hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of photo etch on that thing. And it blows my mind, because I'd be like, it would get launched. I would get so mad at it, I'd have to walk away. I'd never get it done. It's taken him over a year. I don't have an attention span long enough to wait a year to work project to project. Lee is the same way. Lee will build a model, and it'll take him a year to build it, because he's so adept to the detail of the car, and there's so much in it that it takes him that long. I would lose my ever-loving mind. You can let me know what you think about that too down there. So, little food for thought. We'll try to get a Mental Monday together. No guarantees. We will definitely be on with something. Like I said, we are kind of organized now. I can get down and, you know what? I'm not done with the 1 Minute Monday. I'm not going to have enough time this weekend to work on it. So, we're going to go over junkyards. And that'll be the title of it. So, you guys can look forward to it. What's in your junkyard? And we're going to show you everything that I got that's got to be clipped up, separated, and organized. And you guys are going to lose your ever-loving mind. So, until Monday, this is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.